Why is the parking lot so full? It looks like half the town's here.
We might get in trouble.
Come on, don't be a wimp.
What if something bad's happened to them?
Wow, you actually sound worried.
I'm Miss Jean. Join me on a trip to Discovery Mountain, where the air is clear enough to hear your imagination, and where every day is an exercise in faith. Join me for today's expedition. There's plenty of activity at Discovery Mountain Academy this morning, and school hasn't even started yet. Joyce Holt and the other teachers made a lot of phone calls yesterday. They notified parents about the power outage and the field trip to the dig site. And then parents began making calls of their own. Now it seems the whole town has heard about the electric line that was cut by an excavator. Stan and John Harris have been busy too, planning how to get the project finished. With no electricity, how will they be able to finish the retaining wall and the repairs to Mrs. Lewis's classroom before the next big rainstorm? And how will the students get to the Mud Guys dig site if there's no one to drive the bus? Well, let's find some answers in today's episode. It's the last one in our story series called Weathering the Storm. Let's head over to the school. Oh, look, the bus is up front and Jake's climbing on board in today's episode called Rainbow Reminder.
Look, Natasha, we can sit here in the front of the bus and have the best view. I guess all the kids wanted to sit further in the back.
I'm not worried about where we sit, Jake. I'm too worried about this whole last-minute field trip to enjoy the view anyways.
You're worried? Did you remember your inhaler? Are you breathing okay?
I'm fine, Jake. I'm just on edge because this excursion was put together so hurriedly. There's so much that could go wrong. Now just go ahead and take attendance and stop worrying about me.
I'm your husband. It's my job to worry about you.
Janet, sit here. We need to talk.
Sure, Mia. What about? And what's in the bag?
I brought the camera and microphone. We're gonna turn the field trip into our next podcast.
You want us to do an episode of Mountain Mysteries on the bus?
Just listen. I have some really good ideas.
Carson, over here.
Thanks, Addison. Ooh, this bus is crowded. It's a lot smaller than the one at my old school.
Oh, that's why I saved you a seat.
Where's Cyrus?
Right behind you, bro. Where's Brianna?
Oh, you're safe, Cyrus. She's in the back.
Are you guys gonna ever get over this silly feud?
She started it.
Well, one of you needs to end it.
Everyone sit down, please.
Luke Davis, move, please.
Lily, could you please be quiet? I've got to take attendance.
Can you please make Luke move?
I was here first.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was. You just went to window seat.
Here, I've got an idea, Lily. Why don't you come sit with Natasha and me?
But Jake, we can't fit Lily up here too.
Sure we can, Natasha. She won't take up much room.
Jake, I'm already stressed out.
Oh, Lily won't be more stressed. Good things come in small packages, remember?
So does dynamite.
I can't believe we're really going on a field trip.
Harold's dream is finally coming true.
Aren't you excited too, Janet?
Why should she be? Nothing's happening yet. We're just sitting in a bus.
But Kyler, as soon as the driver gets here, we're on our way to a day of adventure, and better yet, a day of no classes. That reminds me, Cyrus. I thought your dad said they didn't have anyone to drive the bus.
Guess he was wrong.
Hey, look, here comes your dad now. And the mud guy.
And Stan's with them too.
Stan? The guy with the German Shepherd?
Wait, didn't Stan say he could drive anything?
You mean Stan's going to drive the bus?
Oh boy, Carson. Diesel's coming on the field trip with us.
Why me?
So, what do you think about making a podcast, Janet?
I'm in. What about you, Harold?
Well, there'll be a lot of background noise, but I think your dad can help me remove it from the audio files.
Yeah, he could. When he recorded me practicing for my piano recital, He took out the sound of Ruby barking in the backyard.
You ready, Mud Guy?
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right then, let's get started.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Mountain Mysteries. I'm Mia.
And I'm Janet. And Harold over there is our faithful sound guy sidekick.
Hey, I'm more than a sidekick.
Today, we'll be asking important questions about the story of Noah.
Is there evidence of a global flood lurking beneath Discovery Mountain? Did Noah get seasick? Who cleaned the lion's litter boxes?
Our first guest is the Mud Guy.
Hi there.
Mr. Mud Guy, what's the best evidence of a worldwide flood?
Well, the best evidence is God's testimony in the book of Genesis. But there's more evidence right under you.
The floor of the bus is evidence?
No, the earth itself is evidence. The flood buried billions of dead things all over the world in layer upon layer of rock. They were buried very quickly.
Next question. How could a wooden boat survive something like Noah's flood?
Well, scientists have studied the proportions of the ark, and it was incredibly seaworthy. It could have tossed and turned violently and still kept floating.
Tossed and turned, so Noah might have gotten seasick.
Oh, maybe. But the point to remember is that God kept him safe.
In Bible class, Chaplain Jake said it takes faith to believe in the story of Noah.
God does ask us to have faith, Mia, but he doesn't require blind faith. He gives us plenty of evidence to support our faith.
So you believe there's plenty of evidence for Noah's flood?
Yeah, I've already shown you all some of the evidence, but when we get to the dig site, I'll show you more. You just have to be willing to see it.
Good point.
Any other questions?
Yes, if the ark only had one window way at the top, it'd be pretty dark inside. What kind of lights did they use?
Well, that's easy, Janet. Floodlights!
Ugh.
All right, everyone, we're here.
Come on, Carson, let's go.
What's the hurry? I'll avoid the crush and let everyone get off the bus first.
You're not fooling me. You just don't want to walk past Diesel.
That has nothing to do with it. I'm just being polite.
As the students piled off of the bus, Olivia gathered them around for some instructions.
Okay, everyone. DS asked me to be in charge of this field trip, so I need your full attention.
Yes, Mrs. Olson.
2 people are listening. Great start. Okay, first, I need you to stay with your teachers. And second, don't touch anything without permission. Yes, Lily?
There's nothing out here but mud. Who would want to touch anything?
Well, I'm guessing the Mud Guy does.
That's right. I love playing in the mud. And by the end of the day, I think you'll love it too. Even Lily.
Don't be too sure about that.
Tell you what, how'd you like to be my assistant today, Lily? I need someone who understands archaeology to help us find clues.
Clues to what?
Well, Noah's flood. But first, I have some important instructions.
Students, listen up.
This is an archaeological dig site. In a few days, there'll be a whole crew up here searching for fossils.
I'm ready. I've got my hat.
Yes, Jake, I can see. Now, when I started scouting this area, I found a couple of especially interesting spots.
Interesting how?
You found fossils, didn't you?
Yes, I did, Lily.
T-Rex fossils?
Sorry, Harold. Nothing that impressive.
Harold, if the Mud Guy found a T-Rex, he wouldn't be on the field trip with us. He'd be on the cover of National Geographic.
Well, we're going to go up the hill so I can show you some interesting fossils. But it's important that you stay below those big boulders.
But why?
Well, it's because it gets a whole lot steeper beyond them.
Steep hills don't scare me.
Well, it's muddy, so it'd be easy to lose your footing, especially for the younger kids.
I bet I could do it.
It's not worth the risk, Lily. Which is too bad because there's some pretty cool stuff up there.
Okay.
Now, our first fossil is in this trench I dug right here. Lily, can you point it out to everyone?
As you can all see, this is a trilobite.
What kind of bite?
A trilobite. And what can you tell everyone about trilobites, Lily?
They're extinct arthropods.
Arthropods? It just looks like a big bug to me.
Lily, what's an example of a modern arthropod?
Crabs. Arthropods mostly lived in oceans.
So what does that tell us about this fossil that I found way up here, nearly at the top of the mountain?
This used to be an ocean?
These mountains used to be underwater?
That's evidence of Noah's flood, isn't it?
Yes. Trilobites are some of the most common fossils. They're proof that water once covered the whole Earth. They're also proof that many fossils were preserved very quickly.
Oh, they had soft bodies, so they'd rot really fast.
Ew, that's kind of disgusting.
But the point, Janet, is that they were obviously buried very, very rapidly, like in a catastrophic flood.
Like the jellyfish.
Yeah, and here's more proof. Take a look.
Hey, that's a leaf fossil.
Yeah, have you ever tried to preserve a leaf?
I tried once, but it just shriveled up.
Yeah, once leaves die, they begin to curl up, right?
Why didn't the edges of that leaf curl up? You can see the whole outline of that.
The leaves were buried before they had a chance to shrivel up. Now, Lily, because you've been such a great assistant, I have something for you.
You do?
A real archaeologist needs the right accessories. So here you go.
It's a hat, just like yours.
Hey, yeah, we all have the same hat. We're triplets, Lily.
I see, Chaplain Jake.
All right, everyone, follow me. Let's explore some mud.
Lily's sure a great helper, isn't she, Natasha?
She sure is. Hey, Rich, how did you get Lily to cooperate? What's your secret?
No secret. I just remembered a famous piece of advice.
What advice?
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I gave her a hat and put her on my team.
Brilliant. I'll have to remember that.
As everyone explores the mud, we'll take a short break.
Would you like to share your faith with Discovery Mountain merch? There are t-shirts, hoodies, and even a ball cap to choose from. Visit discoverymountain.com/store and get your merch today.
Have you ever had to forgive someone? It isn't always easy to do. Well, take an adventure with your favorite Discovery Mountain characters and exercise forgiveness in the book Mission Forgiveness. In this interactive faith adventure, you are the main character and you decide what happens next. Jake, Mr. Simon, Kayla, Jamie, Harold, and others will help you on your mission. Find Mission Forgiveness at discoverymountain.com/store.
Hello, Mountaineers. Join me, Mr. Simon, and some of your favorite Discovery Mountain voices like Miss Jean and Director Doug for a bedtime Bible story. Listen to faith-filled accounts from God's storybook, the Bible. The gentle stories and soothing music are the perfect way to end your busy day. We'll see you soon at the club at discoverymountainclub.com.
Hey, it's Sean Boonstra, Speaker Director of the Voice of Prophecy, the ministry that brings you this program. Has Discovery Mountain been an encouragement to the children in your life? Weekly Discovery Mountain episodes are made possible through the generosity of our supporters. Would you like to join us as a supporter? Find out how you can receive a Discovery Mountain t-shirt as a thank you gift. Call us at 1-877-566-7365 today. That's 877-566-7365.
As the students explore the mud, Carson and Cyrus have a not-so-bright idea.
Hey, Cyrus, this is boring. I haven't found any fossils yet. Let's go farther up the hill.
You heard the mud guy, Carson. We're supposed to stay below the boulders. It's too risky up there.
Yeah, too risky for the little kids. We'll be fine.
I don't know.
Didn't you hear what else he said? The cool stuff is up there.
But we might get in trouble.
Come on, don't be a wimp.
Says the guy who's afraid of a harmless pooch.
I'm telling you, he's not harmless. Where is Diesel, anyway?
I think Stan stayed in the bus, so Diesel's probably there too.
Good. Now, are you coming or not?
I guess, but just a quick look.
We better go up this side where those trees will give us cover. we can be up and back down before anyone even misses us.
I sure hope you're right. If my dad hears about this, he'll be furious.
Carson and Cyrus made their way over to the trees and began heading up the hill. Before long, they discovered that the mud guy was right. It did get a lot steeper.
Watch your step. I've slipped 4 times in the last 30 seconds. I'm going back.
Well, suit yourself. I'm gonna see what's down that little crevice over there.
Better make it quick. And be careful.
I will. Stop being a nervous Nelly. Might be some good fossils here. Better go slow. I'll just peek over the edge. Not too close. Ouch. Whew. That was close. Thanks for grabbing my coat collar, Cyrus. Cyrus? Whoa, you're not Cyrus.
As the students gathered to get back on the bus, Chaplain Jake did a head count.
Luke, 28. Lily, 29. Nora, 30. That's not right. Gotta check the list again.
Is everyone present and accounted for, Jake?
Everybody except Cyrus and Carson. Have you seen them?
Oh, don't tell me we're missing someone again. That happened on the Pathfinder hike, too.
Don't worry. They're probably with Lydia.
Who's with me?
Cyrus and Carson.
I haven't seen them for at least an hour.
So they're not with you?
Is anyone else missing?
Yes. I can't find Diesel. Last I saw, he was chasing a squirrel up the hill.
Diesel's a good boy. He can take care of himself. It's the boys we should worry about.
Did you hear that, Addison? Cyrus and Carson are missing.
Oh, I'm sure they'll turn up, Brianna.
But what if something bad's happened to them?
Wow, you actually sound worried. What happened to staying neutral?
This is different. They're my friends. I was worried sick when you went missing.
I know. I'm sorry, Brianna. So, Cyrus is still your friend?
Of course, but we've kind of been at odds lately.
Aren't you still at odds?
I don't know. I guess it depends whether Cyrus will forgive me for being so hard-headed.
Of course he will. He hasn't exactly behaved like an angel himself.
My mom says when you're reporting on a story, you have to keep your own opinions out of it. I really thought I was doing the right thing.
But now?
Well, now I realize you can't be neutral on some things, because they're just too important. God's given us plenty of evidence for Noah's flood, if we're willing to see it.
Hey, there they are!
Cyrus, Carson, where have you been?
And why are you petting my dog? I thought you were afraid of Diesel, even though he is the best dog in the world.
Afraid? No way. At least, not anymore.
So where have you two been?
Do we have to answer that?
Oh, no. Cyrus, what is your dad going to say about this?
It was my fault, Mrs. Olson. I wanted to go higher up the hill to look for fossils.
It's my fault too, Carson. I didn't have to agree.
Up the hill? Why? It's off limits.
I know, and I'm sorry. I almost fell into the ravine.
What?
But then Cyrus grabbed me by the collar.
Except it wasn't me.
It wasn't you? Who else was up there?
Diesel.
Diesel saved you? I told you he was the best dog in the world.
He sure is. Although he did put a hole in the collar of my coat.
Stan, why was Diesel growling when he saved Carson?
German shepherds growl when they sense danger.
Huh. Well, good boy, Diesel.
Hey, my dad said Diesel was growling the day of the mudslide. He was worried it was a bear or a mountain lion or something.
Huh, that's right. He must have heard or felt the water moving under the earth and sensed danger.
Diesel, you're smart.
All right, everyone, time to get back on the bus before any other shenanigans happen.
Do we have to leave already?
Harold, I guess you don't.
Yay!
If you don't mind walking all the way back to Discovery Mountain.
Fine.
Muddy but happy, the students rode the bus back to school.
Addison, look at those two.
Cyrus and Brianna are talking again.
And Brianna's laughing.
Oh, good. The feud of the century is over.
DS is on the phone.
Uh-oh, we're in trouble.
He'd like to speak to you, Rich.
Phew.
you two are not off the hook. Cyrus, Carson, DS would like to see both of you in his office first thing tomorrow.
Yes, Mrs. Olson. At least you get to wait until tomorrow. I live with the principal.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Rich, I understand the field trip was a success, mostly.
Yes, everyone is coming back safe and sound.
Well, that's good. I'm relieved.
You don't sound relieved.
Well, I still have an unfinished retaining wall and a classroom with only a tarp standing between it and the next rainstorm.
But you have a great crew working on the project.
I know, but how much could they have possibly gotten done today? I've been here at home resting, doctor's orders.
Yeah, I know. And that's good.
I'll meet you at the school bright and early tomorrow morning. We'll figure out the next steps.
Okay, sounds good.
It was probably overly optimistic to think that volunteers could finish all those repair jobs.
Come on, DS. God's gonna work everything out. Have a little faith.
With everything that's been going wrong, that's tough. It feels like my prayers are bouncing off the ceiling and hitting me in the head.
The book of Hebrews says Noah was a man of faith, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
His faith was tested for more than 100 years. Or do you really think he had no problems getting the ark built?
I never thought about it like that.
Noah dealt with all the same problems you are. Not enough workers, finding and paying for supplies, a big storm on its way.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Some days, Noah must have wondered if God had forgotten him. But Genesis 8:1 is pretty clear. It says, God remembered Noah.
Right, God never forgets us, does he? Thanks for the reminder, Mud Guy.
And remember this too. Unlike Noah, your building project won't take more than 100 years.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I pray the power will be back on tomorrow. Get your rest, DS.
Yeah, I will. Reluctantly.
Hey, who wants to sing?
I do, Lily.
I'll sing. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town. The wipers on the bus go swish, 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 swish. The wipers on the bus go swish, 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 all through the town. The teachers on the bus.
Good morning, Mike. Now, let me just take your blood pressure real quick.
Tara, no way.
Mike, you're a terrible patient.
Well, my home isn't a hospital.
Come on now, be a good example for Cyrus and Kezi.
The kids aren't even around. Cyrus knows he's in trouble, and he's avoiding me until he can't avoid me.
Principal Dad. That combo is tough on them sometimes.
Yeah, well, anyway, I best be off.
Not so fast, mister. I'm driving you to work.
What?
I'm not taking any chances with your health.
I just had a little blood pressure trouble, which walking is good for.
Well, it's raining.
No, it's sprinkling.
Look, would you just let me drive you? Do this for me?
Okay, fine.
See, isn't this nice?
It takes longer for me to buckle my seatbelt than it does to walk.
Here we are.
Why is the parking lot so full? It looks like half the town's here.
Maybe they are.
What? Why? Tara, half the town is here. Are they all volunteering to finish fixing the school?
Not exactly.
There he is! Everyone, they're here!
Tara, what is going on?
You sure ask a lot of questions, don't you?
There's Mr. Simon, and Michelle Harris, and Mrs. Amos. And is that Steve Beckman?
DS, over here.
Reader? What are you doing here?
I came to give a speech.
A speech?
For the dedication of the new retaining wall.
But it isn't done.
It isn't? Then what's that over there?
What? The wall! And Mrs. Lewis's classroom. How did you do it?
Good old-fashioned community spirit.
But John, how?
Well, first, Miss Holt started making phone calls.
And then some of the parents I called began making their own calls. Within an hour, this place was crawling with volunteers.
I called some of my buddies at Billsby Builders, and they brought tools and equipment. We worked all night.
Hey, don't forget me.
That's right. Stan worked all night, too.
But there was no power.
Allow me to introduce you to the Defender X5000.
My dad said his new generator could power an entire neighborhood, and he was right.
Mr. Beckman was an answer to prayer.
Well, I don't know about that. I just believe in being prepared. And, well, it doesn't make much sense to complain about a problem if you're not willing to be a part of the solution.
Thank you, Mr. Beckman.
If anyone's hungry, my dad's got a year's supply of protein bars in his car.
DS, look!
What is it, Rich? What's wrong?
Oh, it's okay, DS. Look, it's a rainbow.
A rainbow. The sign of God's promise to Noah that he'd never flood the earth like that again.
A reminder that there's always sunshine after the rain.
Indeed there is. Thank you, John, Stan, and each of you. And Rich, I can't thank you enough for everything you've done.
Nah, it was nothing.
It was everything. You organized the mudslide cleanup, helped build the wall, and taught the kids they can trust the story of Noah and the Ark.
Well, you can always count on me, DS. And next time you have a problem with rain and mud,
yes,
you'll know who to call.
Director Doug, when the Bible says God remembered Noah, it doesn't mean that God was so busy managing the flood that he'd forgotten about Noah, does it?
Absolutely not. Can you imagine God telling Noah to build the ark, then sending the flood, and after that just leaving Noah and his family and the animals on the ark to fend for themselves?
No, I can't imagine that. God remembered Noah by acting on his behalf.
That's right. And you listening at home, you might have times when you feel forgotten by God, but you know, God never forgets about you.
That's so true. The Bible says in Genesis 8 and verse 1 that God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the animals that were with him in the ark. You know, God never forgets.
Remember that when you're exercising your faith. We'll see you here again next time.
You've been listening to Discovery Mountain, where the air is clear enough to hear your imagination, and where every day is an exercise in faith. To listen to other episodes and to send us a message, visit us online at discoverymountain.com. Discovery Mountain is a production of The Voice of Prophecy. Join us again next time here in Discovery Mountain, where every day is an exercise in faith. Rainbow Reminder was written by Janice Nelson and post-produced in Ontario, Canada by Douglas Bruce and Danny Columbi, recorded in Loveland, Colorado, Bowmanville, Ontario, and remotely from around the world.